This has been Strictly Ball Business.
Strictly ball business.
Strictly ball business.
I like that video.
Balls. Nah, shit.
Speaking of young teams that are just kind of in the middle right now, the Kings. They are strictly in the middle. I don't think either of us had them. I think I had them in the play-in when we did our preseason guesses for what the standings are going to end up as. Where did you have them? Do you think they're going to be in the play-in this year?
I think like they certainly should be. I think right around that 9 to 10 range, maybe fighting for 8. Certainly think that's possible. With the Utah Jazz falling out of it, like that's a team that you consider not being there, right? So they're ahead of them. They're ahead of the Thunder, obviously. They're ahead of the Rockets, obviously, and they're ahead of the Spurs as well. But then, you got some complications after that because, like, that makes them, I think, the 11th team at that rate. But, like, are they better than Portland? Maybe not. Portland made some upgrades this year. They're trying to be better. Are they better than the Lakers? I mean, maybe. But, like, the Lakers are going to try to win games this year. And, the last 2 years have been lost seasons for LeBron. And they've been lost seasons for the Lakers and Anthony Davis in general. So I'm more eager to say that the Lakers are going to have a good year than they are going to have a bad year this year. I think the Lakers are probably going to be better than the Kings still. So the Kings, I don't know who else they're better than on here. I mean, honestly, I'm going to say no, they're not going to make the playoffs or the plan because, like, they're not better than the Clippers or the Pelicans or the Wolves or the Nuggets or the Jazz or the Mavericks or the Warriors or they are better than the Jazz. Sorry, they're not better than the Warriors, not better than the Grizzlies, not better than the Suns. But I got them penciled in right around 11th because they're better than Houston, Thunder, Spurs, and Jazz. That's only 14. So I got them as the 11th best team right now, missing the playoffs.
No, yeah, I mean that sounds about right. Makes sense to me. So what do you think this roster has to currently do? Just without trades aside, well, I'm sure they're going to be in a lot of trade discussions and rumors this season. But what do you think that this roster can do to be better? Like, do they have an identity? Do they go all in on that identity? Do they have to go the other way? What do you think?
I mean, they gotta win games. They gotta figure out how to play defense and get stops. They give up way too many points. And they got to figure out how to get rebounds. They brought in Sabonis to help with that. What are they going to do with their other center, Richaun Holmes? Like, is he a backup now? Like, what is his role in this team? I think Davion Mitchell, if he really shines out, this team could, certainly finish higher than projections.
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole thing on Davion Mitchell, but. They said they said right when they traded him, they're like, Sabonis is our center. He's going to be our center. Richaun Holmes is a backup center. I'm sure they're willing to shop him. He has a $10-12 million salary. So it's not the I'm sure there's teams out there that would take it. Like, might as well maybe for Rozier or Gordon Hayward, whatever. They still have Barnes too. It's kind of tough. I like. Last season we said they need shooting, they need defense. Did they get shooting? Yeah, they got shooting. I'd say so. They went out and got Herter. They went out and got Monk. They drafted a really nice shooter in Keegan Murray. I think that helped, but they didn't really move the needle on defense. I mean, I think the biggest hope for them is that Keegan Murray turns into that big time defender, that all defensive type player. Almost 2 blocks a game. Super quick. He shot really well in Summer League, and he's a 6'8" player. I think he's their ideal fit next to Sabonis because he can protect the paint where Sabonis couldn't. However, I don't think that's enough. I don't know actually what you do around Sabonis. He's a prototypical center that likes to play as a power forward that's not good at defense. It's kind of hard to build around a guy like that. Not saying he's not talented and all-star worthy, but puts you in a tough spot. Is De'Aaron Fox the perfect fit? No, probably not. especially with his perimeter defense. But you're right. So Davion Mitchell, few questions about him. Is he starting?
Yeah.
You think he's starting over Malik Monk?
Yeah.
I actually don't think so. Because I was looking at this team and I was like, Fox? Okay, if you started Fox, who shot 28% from three, Davion Mitchell, who shot 31% from three. Granted, I do think he's gonna get better. I don't know how good he'll get. Then you got Harrison Barnes, who's a good shooter, consistently a good shooter. Keegan Murray, who's a rookie but supposed to be a good shooter, and then Sabonis, who's not a good shooter. I feel like they're gonna want a shooter, a guy that runs around off screen, where you actually do have to still stay out, then can't clog the paint with guys like Sabonis and Fox, who most of the offense is gonna come around. I think at least starting, Malik Monk will be out there, depending upon the matchups. If they really think, I think Davion Mitchell will be out there if they really think, like if they got like Damian Lillard or someone, or two guards like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, whether they'll need De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell to guard them both for most of the time. But I would say I would give the needle to Malik Monk, just the way they've built this team so far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, certainly see the logic with that. Just think you're not giving Davion Mitchell quite enough credit. He did finish the season shooting pretty well, and even had over 20 points per game for a good stretch. And defensively, I think he's miles better than Malik Monk, and I think I want to have him be getting starter minutes and be out there with the starting five so you can get camaraderie with them. I think that's your guy to build around with the other ones here. You drafted him high. He's got great talents, and I think you got to let him, kind of be himself. And if he's coming off the bench, I think maybe that blocks things out for him a bit mentally. And Malik Monk, I think, can still get you a ton of points off the bench. So I still want a scorer off the bench, because who's going to be my scorer off the bench if Malik Monk's in there? I don't think like Davion Mitchell is going to be able to open things up enough for himself compared to being in the starting lineup, having other guys open things up for him a bit.
Terrence Davis and Kevin Huerter are off the bench. They're pretty good offensive players like that. Terrence Davis more of like what we're talking about with Book Knight, where he just create his own shot. Not the best shooter, but he can create his own. And you'll have Holmes, and they really like Metu. But I actually think, ultimately, I think that's the plan. Is Davion's going to be the starter? Malik Monk will be a six man or off the bench. But I'm like more excited actually to have Davion Mitchell come off the bench, because one thing I was also thinking about is there's really no other playmaking. I mean, Sabonis is a decent playmaker from the post, but like bring ball down, playmaking side. I mean, Barnes is fine, but Fox is really good. So if you get Davion Mitchell running as the bench, he gets to run that whole unit rather than just be like a behind Fox as a two guard. I'm more excited because I do think they want him to be able to run more plays even when De'Aaron Fox is on the floor, and I think that's what they're leaning into more than actual shooting. I think they want him to get comfortable running an offense and being the secondary playmaker on a high level team.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. I think you definitely need multiple guys who can handle the rock in tight situations once you do make it to the playoffs someday if you're the Kings. But like
Someday.
Teams in general, that's what they all need. They need multiple guys who can orchestrate an offense.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Davion Mitchell, I don't think he'll ever be an all-star as long as he's playing with De'Aaron Fox. I don't see them ever giving them two nods for that. But I think he can play like an all-star. I think he could be an all-defensive type player. Not sure. I think more like a DeJounte Murray, where his offense is kind of, it just happens because he plays so good defense. I think it'll be a byproduct of his defense. I think he will be a better shooter than... do you think he'll be better than DeJounte Murray? This is the DeJounte Murray episode, I guess. So, do you think?
I mean, that would be a tall task, but that'd be cool. I mean, I don't really see that happening, but that'd be a tall task for sure.
Think he can be better than him offensively?
Maybe. I mean, he's not that much to beat, I suppose.
Yeah, I do think he has the potential to be better offensively. I think he can be as good of a individual defender as DeJounte Murray, but not as good as a team or as smart of a defensive player as DeJounte Murray, if that makes sense. I do think you can have him go out there, guard your best man, but I don't think he can be a defensive leader like a Pat Bev or like Draymond Green. I don't think he'll be like that, or DeJounte Murray. I really think if he's not that already, he will be that very soon. I don't think Davion Mitchell can get there, but that's the Kings. What do you guys think they need to do with the roster they have to be better, to get it over the hump? Comment below. Let us know.
That's a wrap for us, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. We love talking about basketball, and you love listening to us. So it's a match made in heaven, I think.